we are going to be speaking to global action leaders and finding out what are their plans in the year 2018. There are a great number of them because we have such a phenomenal collection of international leaders coming here, and here we go, the last little bit of furniture is being moved out. And what they're going to be discussing is what their organizations are doing to support advancement towards the sustainable development goals that were signed off on by 193 countries in 2015 at the United Nations. And so the idea is that these are goals that they are working towards to help develop business and SMEs and financing and an angel investment, but from a sustainable perspective. And so I'd like to invite the following people to come up on stage and tell us about what they and their organizations are doing, starting with the president of EBAN, aka, she's no space oddity, but she is the satellite lady. So please welcome Candace Johnson up on stage. Candace, please. Thank you very much for joining us once again. I'd like to also welcome Hashim S. Hussein, the head of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Hussein. As well, Josep Miguel Piqué Huerta, president of the International Association of Science Parks. I got a science park for you in Hong Kong where I come from, but thank you for joining us here today. From the United States of America, Don Hetzel, the world president of the Junior Chambers International. Thank you for coming and joining us. Also from the United States, back on stage one more time, Matthew Gamser, the CEO of the SME Finance Forum. From a little bit closer to today's event, Arda Ermat from the World Association of Investment and Promotion Agencies, WBAF, where he is the president, originally from Turkey. Thank you for joining us. Professor Arif Ergin, the president of the Scientific and Technological Research Council, aka TÜBİTAK, also right here in Turkey. Thank you for joining us. We would like to welcome one of our board members, Harry Tommy Davis, the president of the African Trade Association for Business Angels, representing all of Africa here, but also from Nigeria. Well-known board member of the association. Good to see you again. Thank you. And we'd like to welcome Abdul Malik Jabar, president of the Middle East Association for Business Angels. Thank you very much. Originally hailing from the UAE, and of course the chair for this session will be our very own Baybars Altuntes, once again commanding the floor. Baybars, please, chairman of the WBAF. Baybars, you are in command of this session, so I will surrender the chair and the lead microphone to you. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about our goals for global development over the course of the next year. Thank you very much. Baybars, all yours.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is an important moment because we are now hosting on the stage the 10, let me not count myself, 9 important, the most important leaders of early stage equity markets. The president of the Business Angels Network and Trade Association, Abdul Malik El Jabar. I will start from him. We sat down in alphabetical order. Johnson, maybe, do you have another surname? Please let me know. I want to start from WBAF. What is WBAF going to do? The main purpose of this session is to tell you what these 10 global organizations are going to do to ease access to finance for entrepreneurs and SMEs. This is, we are going to learn the agenda of these global organizations. Let me start by, from WBAF. We are going to make 4 things. We don't have any room for the 5th project. The first one is we are going to focus on this $200 million fund, and by using the power of our high commissioners, we are even able to tap to a SME in Tanzania or Sudan or Macedonia, everywhere in the world. The second project is on 10th of April. We are going to organize the first certified, WBAF certified angel investor training program with a final exam. This is the difference. Because governments of course, UK, US, Turkey, all of them accredit angel investors by checking only the papers. We are going to check the knowledge, if they know what due diligence is, if they know how to make a term sheet. So the first training will be in London, at the London Stock Exchange Group on 10th of April, 11th of April. If they pass the final exam, they will be certified. Then, of course, we will expand this program to Johannesburg Stock Exchange, to Shanghai Stock Exchange, etc., globally. And we are going to cooperate with IFC in that step. And the third one is accrediting technoparks, business incubation centers. Because in Turkey, for example, there are around 60 technoparks. In the world, there are many, many technoparks. And the king of technoparks is with us, Joseph, the president of the International Association of Science Parks. And they made their general congress in this room a few months ago. Joseph, we are going to cooperate very closely. Because if technoparks, I believe, can connect their ecosystem with the stakeholder, with the entities providing finance, I think they will be more productive. So we are now developing an accreditation system for science parks, incubation centers, acceleration centers. This is the third project, and the fourth project is we are going to focus on women entrepreneurship issue, starting from Çorum. This is very important, very, very important. And I believe, angel investors enjoy investing in jockey more than the horse. Jockey is very important. Driver is important. For women entrepreneurship issue in Turkey, jockey is very good. Her excellencies. So I'm sure this horse is going to run very fast and will become the winner of this race. So let's start from Abdul Malik Jabar. What are you going to do for entrepreneurs and also investors to ease access to finance in 2018?
Thank you, Peppers. First, I did listen to your is it on? No?
Mikrofon getirebiliriz.
Thank you. Okay. I listened to your request to have the traditional clothing. Usually we put this in funerals or weddings, so I will assume this is a wedding.
Really?
It is really a wedding. So if you allow me, I'll take it off because we took the pictures for the ceremony.
Dear Abdul, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us with this traditional
Arabic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have three initiatives for the 2018. The first thing on the Amban front, this year we will focus on boarding more members from the MENA region with a lot of cooperation with some local angel networks. When we started 3 years ago, there were not many local angel groups, but right now there are lots of local angel groups in the MENA region, including the GCC, which is great news. So 2018, we are expecting to have two major achievements. The first one, to have 100 members joining Amban itself, and to have at least 4 Amban chapters in the different countries. So this is on the Amban level, which I think it's extremely important because it will have an influence on the regulatory framework, as well as working with governments, trade associations, and different professional groups. On the list scale, we will launch in Jordan in a couple of months an angel group that will be investing. We already started with the with the identification of the startups and the process, but that will be a formal announcement. Hopefully, it will be announced during the MENA ICT Forum that is held in Jordan. So, launching that investment vehicle that will be investing not only in Jordanian startups, I mean, there will be definitely Jordanian startups, but will be open also for any startup from the region with focus on Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and Egypt. The third initiative, which is, I think, closer to my heart, I'm sure a lot of people know the situation in the Gaza Strip, which is extremely difficult. But at the same time, I've talked about this in the past conferences. The level of innovation and entrepreneurship and the desire among young Palestinians from Gaza to really prosper and grow is amazing, is impressive. We will be launching a platform that's called Think Positive, which is aimed at mobilizing the positive energy from the people of Gaza, at the same time identifying the priorities and inviting entrepreneurs from around the world, not only from around Palestine, who could come up with innovative solutions, innovative initiatives to address these challenges with a fund to invest in the innovative solutions that address the issues and problems facing people of Gaza Strip. And I think that Think Positive platform, inshallah, it will be successful in Gaza. I think it could be duplicated with the same concept of Think Positive among many parts of the world, especially areas that are having challenges and difficulties, extreme conditions, where you basically have a platform to have the collective efforts from anybody who sees an opportunity, because definitely in these areas there are opportunities, but at the same time it is collective efforts rather than individual efforts. I think these are the three initiatives that will be the focus for 2018.
Thank you very much. You will be very, very busy in 2018. Dear Tommy, Harry Tommy Davis, please. By the way, I may forget, Harry Tommy Davis is going to make a special workshop tomorrow, morning or afternoon, I don't remember, for angel investors. Anyone who wants to become an angel investor, please, you are invited to join his workshop tomorrow. Yes, Tommy.
I was listening to the president of Macedonia earlier, and he said today is Native Language Day, so you will have to excuse me. In my native language, mo ki gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ wà ńbí báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín púpọ̀ tẹ́ wà ńbí lénìí. Á dáa fún yín, á sún yín, á wọ̀n yín. That is a formal greeting, just expressing my thanks and gratitude to the WBAF for hosting this wonderful event in my native language.
Thank you.
As you are well aware, we are still very nascent when it comes to angel investing in Africa. So our emphasis will continue to be on the three top things we have chosen to do. The very first is an emphasis on creating angel groups across the continent. But we have this year changed slightly our strategy, and our concentration is going to be on cities. So we are looking at city-centric angel groups, because we do not believe we are yet at a stage where we can have angel groups with emphasis on different things. So to that effect, we're talking to Dakar, Senegal, we're talking to Accra, Ghana, we are talking to Gaborone in Botswana, we are talking to Banjul in Gambia, we are talking to Antananarivo in Madagascar, amongst others, on setting up angel groups within those cities. So that is sort of the first, thrust of the work that the Africa Business Angel Network will be doing this year. The second, as we announced just last week, is our series of capacity development masterclasses, one of which we will be giving here tomorrow on Introduction to Angel Investing. In addition, we have, of course, borrowed a leaf from the WBAF Academy. So for the more advanced cities, we're looking at things like term sheets, like valuation, like sourcing and the like. And the third and final part of the work we will be doing this year is actually starting to engage with policymakers to start to look at exactly how, for example, stock exchange accreditation and certification, tax incentives, other enhancing policies that could be useful on the continent can be brought to life within the context of the continent. But our measure still remains the same, and it has not changed. How many new ideas of startups are getting funding? That is the single measure that we go by. And as long as that is going north and continues to increase, we will be happy with our work. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks so much. Dear President, TÜBİTAK, we have many guests from all over the world, so I think we have to give a little bit information about Turkish Scientific Council of Turkey. The biggest and really the most respectable, one of the most respectable institutions of Turkey. And what is interesting, when I was a high school student, I had a maths project, and my teacher had taken me to TÜBİTAK to check if my project is good, etc. And in 1986, when I was 16 years old, the TÜBİTAK president was his father. And now he is the president of TÜBİTAK. And I think it is something very interesting. I don't know if you are calling him as the president or father at home. I don't know, Mr. President, but I really wanted to hear more from you how you are going to support entrepreneurs and SMEs and millennium entrepreneurs. And do you believe that supporting entrepreneurs directly, because you have millions of dollars funds, one of them is on the way. The good news is I think he will announce now the fund will be about angel investment and or supporting the supporters of entrepreneurs. Please.
Thank you, Baybars, for this very nice introduction.
Thank you.
Things have definitely changed a lot since your high school years or my father's presidency.
Yes.
I would like to emphasize the fact that, first of all, TÜBİTAK is the major funding government agency for science, technology, and innovation. So whatever has to do with science, technology, or innovation, it touches upon TÜBİTAK's fingers. And we are trying to spend a lot of public money to keep the graphics going up north in all of these areas. The way that I look at it is there are three major actors in the game. One is, of course, the SMEs and the entrepreneurs. They are the ones who really want to move ahead with their ideas and with their investment as a startup. The second part is definitely angel investors and other capital financing tools that want to come together with whatever is going to be successful in the future. And this model with double helix doesn't really work that well. So there needs to be a third actor in the game, and that's the government. There are good sides and bad sides, weaknesses and strengths to all of these three actors. The good side with the government is that we can take the time and the financial tools to evaluate each and every application for an investment. So our strength is that we have tens of thousands of applications from Turkey each year that we need to evaluate on a regular basis. But this takes a lot of time, and our weakness is that we are slow, but we are respectable in that sense as well. And the second weakness is that we are not really able to mobilize the monetary tools very fast. So in order to make this a win-win situation for all three partners, we have to bridge the gap between the financiers, the angel investors, and the SMEs. So what we are willing to try to do for the last couple of years is that we would like to fund the funders. And that way, our evaluation and our respectability is going to be on the market, because we will keep evaluating a lot of ideas and small companies. And on the other hand, we will say we are putting in $1 for this business, for this idea, but we will also point to the investors saying that, hey, we have found gold here, so why not invest in this? And we will be funding the investors as well, so that we will be telling to the SMEs and the entrepreneurs that there is a nice financial source that you can really apply to through our channels.
Yes.
So we will try to bridge the gap between these three actors.
Mr. President, it is really very important. Everybody is talking about access to finance for entrepreneurs, but access to finance for investors is also very important, because after you invested, second round, third round, fourth round investments is very important to create a sustainable success story. And at that stage, if the number of the leaders thinking like you increases in the world economy, I think everything will be better. Thank you very much,
Hopefully.
Mr. President.
Thanks.
Thank you. World Association of Investment and Promotion Agencies. Very important. WIPA. And could you please give a little bit information about WIPA? What does World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies do? And how can SMEs benefit from the activities of WIPA? Burak Bey.
Thank you, Mr. Altıntaş. It's a pleasure for us to be here, and thank you for inviting us. World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies, we have 173 members from 130 different countries. The Turkey chairs the organization since 2014, and since 2014 again the headquarters of the organization is moved to Istanbul. So our target is to kind of provide a platform to exchange information between those agencies, our members, and to improve their capabilities. So I would like to touch on three main dimensions of our activities, and we will continue on these activities in the next year. So firstly, the member agencies have challenges to influence the policies regarding FDI, entrepreneurship, access to finance, or private equity, venture capitals, or the angel investors. So all these definitions sometimes challenging because of the policy framework or for some cultural issues. So we provide a platform to exchange information between our members and to provide a kind of sharing experiences between those agencies. So we are sharing successful examples and etc. So secondly, the training and education is the most crucial agenda for us, because our all members, the new ones, the old ones, need the training and education all the time. Especially for the last 2 years, we are very active in those educations, and we will continue this agenda. Actually, on Wednesday and Thursday, there will be a training program which is supported by UNIDO and TICA, Turkish Cooperation Agency, which is active in abroad. So we are inviting our members to have the education. Thirdly, WIPA as the association participate in many international organizations, events like Select USA Investment Summit, Annual Investment Meeting in Emirates, or World Economic Forum, and the meetings of ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce. So our all members cannot represent themselves on these platforms, and it's not possible to deliver their messages in all the platforms. So WIPA is important to deliver these messages from the perspective of the investment promotion agencies. And the second side of this dialogue is all the members do not have chance to access to meetings, and we are providing a kind of a medium to disseminate the information which is gained in these events. So we believe the activities on the event side, the participation to events, will continue in the next year as well. So we believe we are a kind of an important association for the investment promotion agencies.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Burak Bey. Dear Matt, IFC, I met with Matt first time in Turkey when Turkey was the president of G20 summits. And then I didn't want to leave him because I understood that he is preparing all the agenda. Then why? in Berlin last year, first time, thank you very much, Matt. First time in the G20 history, angel investments came to the papers of G20 with one paragraph, but it is. So first, in 2018, Argentina, you were in Argentina, I think, Argentina made the first pre-meetings. This year, Argentina is the president of the term president. I hope we will see more paragraphs in the end. What are you going to do for angel investors, Matt?
Okay, well, look, you have to indulge me a second because I am sitting here as representative of the World Bank Group. So let me talk about a few things we do for SMEs, and then I will try to move more narrowly to your question. And I'm going to focus only on some of the most recent things we're doing that I think are most important. And the first is, if we start with the big picture, is the World Bank's commitment about a year ago to achieving universal financial access for emerging market countries for 2020. Now, why is that related to SMEs? Well, as I said earlier, if you're outside the financial system, if you're a ghost from the standpoint of information about your finances, it's very, very difficult, whether you're a very well-meaning angel or a banker or anybody to deal with. So we're committed to using everything we can in technology and other innovation to achieve that universal financial access. We're about to come out with the new Findex survey, and I hope that will show, the last one 3 years ago showed that we took about 400 million people out of being excluded, so that took us down from about 2.4 billion to just 2 billion. I'm hoping we have a big reduction in this. So that's the very biggest picture. On top of that, in the Turkish presidency of the G20 countries identified 3 very important areas of the infrastructure, if you will, of financial markets that if they get improved in given countries can make a big difference to SMEs' access to finance. These are credit information systems, movable assets registries, and insolvency regimes. And I don't want to go into, I think, to this group why all those things are important, but the Turkish presidency saw the G20 committing to that. The 2 subsequent presidencies have seen the G20 countries do their own baseline assessments about where they stand and commit to come back in 2 years to see what they can do to improve in their own G20 countries. And this year I can report to you that in each of those areas there are between 40 and 50 countries in emerging markets that are engaged with the World Bank Group on reforms in those areas, which is a really significant increase. So that's a very encouraging sign. And then, so as we move down to what can we do for angels, and I know that this is kind of indirect, but it really does help angels along with all financiers. The IFC and the World Bank, we obviously don't do a lot directly for SMEs in financing or directly to angels, but we do finance about 500 financial institutions of various types around the world and about 400 private equity funds, many of which are doing SME financing of various sorts. And we've created 2 new vehicles that are particularly relevant to your group. One is the what we call the Sme Ventures. It's an evergreen fund. It's targeted at the poorest and most conflict-affected countries. So where if you're trying to start up an equity fund and your investors are expecting to get out in 7 to 10 years, it might not make it so easy to move people into Liberia and Sierra Leone, countries like that, Timor-Leste. So we have that vehicle. And then you may have read about Ivanka Trump's visit to Mrs. Merkel this year, and the World Bank Group is about to launch the fund that is now about $300–400 million to support women entrepreneurs. And it's not a fund for the World Bank, it's a fund for the world that all can apply for to get lending and guarantees and other instruments to support financing women entrepreneurs. So now, what more can be done for angels? I also, this last year, not thanks in large part to us, but I think the International Council for Small Business deserves some credit. June 27th, you may not know this, is now the UN Day for Micro, Small, and Medium-Sized Enterprises. It's amazing it's taken so long with so many days devoted to other important things that SMEs finally have their own day. And there will be another ceremony on the first anniversary this June 27th. And I'm very proud that the SME Finance Forum has been named a resource institution for this day. And then last but not least, as you heard, we did get recognition in the G20 of the importance of angels. Now we are working on how to create a diverse and competitive markets for SMEs around the world, and that has to mean how do we help encourage angel investments. So I think with your help, we will keep this item on the agenda of the G20, and I'm sure there's much more we can do beyond the mere one paragraph inclusion.
Thank you, Matt. I think this MOU will work well. Sure. Dear Dawn, JCI, Junior Chamber International, 200,000 alumni worldwide. The 6th JCI ambassador was Ban Ki-moon of United Nations, and the 7th one was
you.
Thank you. Yes, I was appointed as the 7th JCI Global Ambassador after Ban Ki-moon in New York at the United Nations building. Thank you very much. Since then, I am a little bit more engaged with what they do. Bill Clinton, I think, is from JCI. There are many names from global arena who are JCI members. And you are the world president, because JCI has, in how many countries?
About 120.
120 countries, under 20 country presidents. And please, what are you going to do? And I think you can also mention about your workshop tomorrow morning before you fly about the Global Empowerment Fund of United Nations, which is run by JCI, and how these SMEs, entrepreneurs, can benefit from this fund. Please.
Yes, thank you so much, Baibars. So JCI, as you explained, we have about 200,000 members worldwide in 120 different countries. And our members are young, active citizens between the ages of 18 to 40. Many of our members are entrepreneurs, and so a lot of our programming supports the personal development, the professional development of these individuals through community activism. And I was here last year, and I remember speaking on a panel, and we talked about social entrepreneurship and the importance of how these businesses, these startups, are engaged not only in just making a profit, but also in making impact in their communities. And that's what we as JCI do. We try to encourage these individuals to continue making that impact, to make a difference in their communities. And one of the ways that we do that is through the Global Youth Empowerment Fund. And it is an initiative that we began in 2016 with a partnership with the SDG Action Campaign. In 2016, we were able to fund 5 initiatives, and last year, in 2017, we doubled that and were able to fund 10 different initiatives in different countries around the world, led by young people, projects, programs that further one or more of the Sustainable Development Goals. And as an organization, we have also adopted the Sustainable Development Goals as a platform for action for our members. We also have, in New York City, Baibars mentioned, our Global Partnership Summit, where we bring individuals, businesses, some SMEs, some larger organizations, other nonprofit organizations from around the world that are, again, impacting their communities to help them share their story and the impact that they're making, how they're engaging young people, encouraging the growth and the empowerment of these individuals to continue making those sustainable programs and creating impact in their communities. And the last initiative that I wanted to talk about is our Peace is Possible campaign. And this is a program that we began in 2016 also, talking about the idea of peace around the world. And with so much conflict and turmoil and upheaval in so many internal countries as well as different regions of the world, We believe that young people are an important part of furthering the ideas of peace, of bringing people together, and entrepreneurs are central to that redevelopment, creating that stability in their communities as well. And so our idea of peace is that peace is not just the absence of conflict, but also the prevalence of justice. And we've been promoting this idea around the world. And last year in Sarawak, Malaysia, we were able to have an international peace summit where we brought individuals together from over 100 different countries, many different organizations, to talk about those ideas of peace and what young people are doing and how they are participating in that conversation. And so as an organization, we offer entrepreneurs a social network, a business network, a training network, and we also offer individuals, angel investors like yourselves, an opportunity to help support them through partnering with some of the JCI organizations in your local communities, becoming a funder or a donor to the Global Youth Empowerment Fund. And we will be talking more about this. We have a workshop tomorrow morning at, I believe it's 9 a.m. And you can meet my colleague John Stam, who is our Director of Global Philanthropy for JCI. And then we just really encourage everyone, young people especially, to share their voice, to be a leader in their community, and to be part of the conversation of creating change, of creating sustainable change, so that we can all have a better world to live in.
Now, thank you very much. Thanks so much. And Joseph. Joseph, science parks are very important, and you are the president of International Science Parks Association. I think you have also many members from Turkey, Istanbul Technical University, etc. Very important institutions are your members. So what are you going to do to boost the innovation ecosystem in the world? Because without innovation, then we don't need to talk about angel investment, etc., etc.
Yes. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Really, ISP is a World Association of Science and Technology Parks. We are about 400 members, and we are in 80 countries. What we do really is to create ecosystems of innovation. It means to combine in a better way universities, government, and industry in order to work together for urban, economic, and social development. It means it's not only the economical development. We are committed with the communities, and also we are committed with the land transformation. We know that at the end of the day, our business is to transform opportunities to value. And for doing that, we need to manage talent, technology, and finance, the three key elements that any ecosystem has to provide, the framework to run in terms of to understand the opportunities and to deliver in a very fast way. That's the reason why we believe that the university has to work a lot, not only doing education and research, also knowledge to use, promote new entrepreneurs coming from the universities, but also the big corporations, they need to understand that they need innovation, and the best way to buy innovation is buying entrepreneurs. It means for you, for the business angels, they will be the exit plans of your investors, of your investments. And that's perhaps one of the key elements that they feel that we have to work more and more. Understanding that big corporations are afraid about the future, they don't know what will happen. They don't know what will happen with the digitalization, with the impact of technology, and they need to open the door for new and fresh disruptive innovation that will come from entrepreneurs. And in the first step of these entrepreneurs, we are helping, but we need you. Because who is trusting beyond your mom, your father, and your friend is a professional that is investing. Professional in terms of that is your money, but you are adding value, not only giving money, giving advice, and also sending a clear message to the rest of the investors that this is real value. And that's, from my point of view, one of the key elements that I am very happy that we joined with the World Business Angels Forum, this general agreement, because we have the same goal. We have different tools for the same goal. This year, we are fulfilling our strategic plan. When I became president of my association, I sent only one message to my General Assembly. I want to create the global innovation ecosystem. And that's perhaps one of the key elements that we have to join together all the networks, because it's not how fast you run in your local market, it's how fast you run in the global world. It means how can you scale your value proposition not only in Spain, Turkey, or in China, in all over the world. And that's where we are promoting, connecting, and the parks, science and technology parks, providing and helping the people for the mobility of technology, finance, and also entrepreneurs, and promoting what we say, this global innovation ecosystem. For this reason, we have our global meetings. We were in Istanbul last September. We are just every year in one part of the world. Also, we have our regional meetings. This year will be in Heidelberg, in Germany, also in Recife, in Brazil, in Mexico, and in different parts of the world. It helps us to create a key word in business: trust. And trust is not only about regulation, it's about to share with people, projects, and to know more and more people. We're promoting webinars and surveys and books and papers. It's very important, because one of the things that is, in the last year I have been in 25 countries. It's incredible how the world is running. And this is not about how big you are, it's how smart you are to run. And I have been in small and medium cities, not big cities, that I understand that if they are not providing the framework for creating value, they will lose people. And this is about not only about attraction and talent, it's also about retention and development of talent. For this reason, let me tell you that we're very, very happy to have this agreement with you, and we believe that we can work together. We need you, and we can provide
and we need you.
Okay, and we can provide to you, to your network, or a global deal flow of innovation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much. UNIDO, Technology Transfer Office Director, is with us. Now Dr. Hashim Hussein. And Dr. Hashim Hussein came to Istanbul with also the honorary chairman of UNITO, as well as I know, Sheikh Ibrahim, His Excellencies, the former in-house minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain. And this afternoon, first time in the history of WBAF, a very interesting panel will be on the stage. Angel investment and Islamic finance. 2018 will be the year we will talk more about this. And thanks to Matt, he connected WBAF with the IFC and World Bank Group's Islamic finance expert. He is going to moderate the session. And Al Baraka Turk's CEO is another speaker. And Sheikh Ibrahim is another speaker. And Islamic Bank's Turkey representative will be another speaker. So investing in dreams of people, of startups, or investing in real estate. I think this is an interesting challenge in Middle East. So this is what they are going to discuss, and we will hear how they are going to convince Islamic investors also to invest in dreams of startups. As a matter of fact, 320,000 angel investors invested in dreams last year in Europe, and 340,000 in the United States and Canada, according to ACA statistics, and $26 billion in United States, and 6.8 billion euro in Europe. But if we think about this important detail, it is very interesting. This angel investment is 100% compatible with Islamic finance, because you are investing, you are not giving loan, there is no interest, and you are putting your know-how, network, and mentorship. Unfortunately, most of the Islamic countries still don't know what angel investment is. It is very, very interesting. So this panel is very important, and I hope if Malik Shah Utku enjoys this issue, then he can advocate more about connecting the ecosystem with angel investment and Islamic finance issues this year. So, yes, Dr. Hashim, what is UNIDO going to do?
Thank you very much, Babers. Well, there is a lot what we're going to do. You know, we have been working on entrepreneurship and innovation over the last 30 years. Our office was established in Bahrain in 1991 as an investment technology promotion office. And then we have also established the Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship, which is the only center under the UN global setups. But we work in more than 60 countries with what's called the Bahrain model, which has been approved and adopted by the UNIDO as the Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion Program of UNIDO. It is the UNIDO program for the development of domestic investment to mobilize foreign direct investment. Today we have forwarded this program in more than 60 countries worldwide and has benefited millions of entrepreneurs. Also, the most important thing, me as an international civil servant and working in the UN, I've been working over the last 10 years to ensure the adaptation by the General Assembly, Secretariat, the role of entrepreneurs. And today, in the SDGs, we have very clearly this statement, achieving the SDGs through entrepreneurship development. And we have been doing this through the WEF, the World Entrepreneurs Investment Forum, which we're very proud that we have an adaptation through the UN General Assembly Resolution 1226 to have the permanent secretary of the forum. It is in our office in Bahrain, and we organize it every 2 years, of course, also in cooperation with the World Business Angel Forum. Just a few months back, we had the second forum, which was attended by the President of the General Assembly himself, Mr. Misrolav. And we had a video statement from Mr. Guterres, actually appraising, the role of the Arab International Center and how we're supporting entrepreneurs worldwide. Now we are moving ahead to the world by saying that entrepreneurs are the driving force. Entrepreneurs are the future of our planet, because if we take the 5 Ps, of the SDGs, which is people, peace, planet, and partnership, we have put the entrepreneurs to be in the middle of that, because if we're talking about people, if you are talking about the prosperity of people, if we're talking about peace, it is by economic development. We combat poverty by economic development, by supporting youth and women. And I'm very pleased, after a lot of discussion and several visits also with my good friend Babers, that now the business angel is taking forward women, and we have been talking about we need to see women as business angels, and we need to invest more in women entrepreneurs programs. In our program, there is a priority, on the gender, that we support women, and this is why we have been applauded by that. We have empowered thousands of women, worldwide, from China, from Sri Lanka, from Kenya, from Sudan, from Yemen, from Palestine, and going on. I would like just to share with you 3 main activities we are working now with the UN. Actually, Babers have just announced that also we're bringing a very dynamic now program for Islamic finance, because business angels itself, it is part of the Islamic finance, that it is not loan, it is not credit, that we invest, And now we're taking it very seriously. This is why we're having His Royal Highness, Sheikh Ibrahim Al Khalifa. He's the ex-Minister of Housing. He's the ex-President of the Bahrain Development Bank. He is the chairman of the UN Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship. But he is the chairman of the Accounting and Auditing Organization of Islamic Finance Institution. And this is why it is very important. And he will announce today, the Islamic finance is about something about $3 trillion. Now we will be able with the Business Angel Forum to tap on that money, and as you said, not on property, but on people.
Yes.
And people here are entrepreneurs for us. A very important initiative we're working with the General Assembly, you know, the 72nd Presidency of the United Nations General Assembly is focusing this year on finance for development. So on 11th of June, we're going to have at New York a big debate, and we know through my colleague members, maybe we can invite a number of our leaders here. You know, we are talking about finance for development, not charity. We're talking about how financial institutions and the private sector, you know, from accelerators, science and technology parks, you know, universities, training centers, financial institutions as well, business angels, how they can support entrepreneurs to achieve the SDGs. So you're all going to be invited. I think we can formulate a paper, you know, from our team when we go there in New York. So Jabar is smiling, so it means he's agreeing that we will work on that. A very, very, very important setup. I'm working from now till the year 2020 with the Dubai Expo. You know, we are the first UN agency to sign an agreement with Dubai Expo. And they are going to host the WEF, the World Entrepreneurs Investment Forum, but it's going to be for 6 months. And we're going to work with no less than 100,000 entrepreneurs from different parts of the world, and we're going to bring between 10 to 12,000 entrepreneurs during a period of 6 months on several programs. And the World Business Angel is going to be a partner with us. You know, they have allocated about $1.2 billion for purchasing from SMEs and entrepreneurs. And we're working with them on that. I will brief you. In 2 weeks' time, we're agreeing with them now what they need to do. But the most important thing is going to be after the Dubai Expo. What do they want to do? We're going to have in the Dubai Expo city, which is called South Dubai, it is a new city, we're going to have an international and a global innovative centers to bring solutions through entrepreneurs to the world. And this is something else we'll bring it and share it with you. I will just end up
Thank
here
you.
because I will continue. I wouldn't finish.
Dr.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Thanks so much. Space Lady. Her nickname is Space Lady because she's the first woman investor in Europe invested in space technologies and the president of EBAN, the European Trade Association for Business Angels. Dear Candace, what is EBAN going to do for entrepreneurs, for angel investors in 2018 under your leadership?
So, first of all, thank you so much, and I know that I'm standing between us and lunch, so I will make it very, very, very short. I think the implicit, the question was also about the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals, and EBAN. We have taken a number of initiatives throughout the last 20 years to promote angel investing, to promote private people investing in innovation. And this is something that drives us forward every single day. Certainly globalization, I always say follow the entrepreneur. And so when our entrepreneurs were going to Africa and going to the Middle East and going to Latin America, I said we need to make certain and have colleagues who are there who can, we can work with. And I'm so happy and proud to have Dr. Abdul, Malik Al-Jabar and Tommy Davies, respectively, as presidents of MBAN and ABAN. We at EBAN, we don't talk about the SDGs, we live them. Hedda Paulson-Muller is the head of our EBAN Impact. She has basically almost really single-handedly, when I think about it, 4 or 5 years ago, when she was first talking about impact investing, nobody was talking about impact investing. Today, you can't go to a conference without hearing about impact investing. Women, you know, I do happen to be a woman, so I never ever really think about it, but we have fabulous women angel investors. It's something that we work very, very hard on. We have created Rising Tide Europe. We are in the process of creating Rising Tide Africa. These are women angel investors coming together across a continent to invest in some of the best entrepreneurs in that continent. I'd also like to just talk, and we have also just recently started IBAN Energy. So we are working with a group called Energy, which is 28 of the largest energy companies in Europe, focusing on sustainable energy. And we are teaching how business angels, what they should be looking at, what the trends are in sustainable energy, and then also inspiring entrepreneurs to get into energy, just as we have created IBAN Space. I'd like to talk, though, about sustainability for business angels. And I have to say, I got a good wake-up call this morning with the interventions on blockchain, on ICO. Yes, I have read everything about it. I myself personally have not yet taken the leap. I think I will after this morning. And I will try and do my best to in a responsible way, to also see if this cannot be a solution for angel investing. Because certainly one of the biggest challenges for angel investing is having this liquidity. You can invest, but if you have to wait 10 years to get an exit, this is a long time to wait. And so, you know, I think I always tell everybody, in order for angel investing to be sustainable, you need to have an exit. And you need to be very professional the way that you're doing that. And so if, you know, this new development can help the liquidity and can help angel investors themselves be sustainable and also be global. You know, we can no longer live in just a village, or the village is global. So I think that this is something that we owe ourselves as angel investors, to also be sustainable, to make certain that we can continue to invest in innovation around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Candace. Thanks so much. Dear presidents, thanks so much for joining this important session. Dear guests, please check your names on the chart to find your table in the lunch area. Everybody's name is on the table, by the way. So let's move to lunchtime, and let's give a big applause for these global presidents. Thank you very much.